Yeah. Exactly.
This will have an HDMI. Huh?
What's up?
Does the computer have an HDMI? Like here. Got it. They're all off. I mean, they're on, but I have it muted just for now. Yeah, thank you.
Today was ready. He's ready to go.
Okay.
What if we all just started beatboxing? I know, right? I think we can all think about what the minutes were. I would think, can't look at me. Can't look at me. If we started beatboxing, would you be able to write it down in our lists? Like if we all just got on the mic and like started laying down the beat, like. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Can Zoom hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Thank you. Okay, could I two proxy keys, it is of the office representing?
Hi, my name is Mary, and I represented Hi, my name is Candice, and I'm representing the Commission on
Thank you. We're gonna move into the agenda. Are there any comments to the agenda? Josh?
Alright, can I please add 2024 to 2025 meter changes? There's a motion to add 2024 to 2025 meter changes.
Sorry,
I motion to add 2024 to 2025 meter changes. Second.
Josh motion, Robin second, is all in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All in favor, please raise your hands. And all abstaining, please raise your hands. With a 9-0 votes, that is approved. Any more amendments? Tommy, followed by Bethany.
Yeah, I motion to add a resolution following up on calls for a $20 minimum wage for ASUCLA student workers to the agenda.
These are your hands, all against, and all abstaining. With a 10-0 votes, that is approved. Are there any more? I'm sorry, Bethany, go ahead.
Hi, can you please check capital contingency allocations?
Yes. Are there any more Chris? Sorry.
Yeah, I wish to add Mr. Bruce for 2025 money guidelines to the agenda.
Second.
This motion is Robin second, all in favor, please raise your hands.
So it's like just the allocation.
Okay, can we go? Can we go? Yes, it is.
Yeah. Sure.
All those for, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. And all abstain, please raise your hands. With a 9-0 vote, that is approved. Are there any more amendments to the agenda?
Hi, I'm proxying for Javi. I motion to strike bag allocations from the agenda.
Thank you. Are there any more amendments? I motion to add an exec session under council discussion. I motion for seconds on favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. And all abstain, please raise your hands. With a 8-0 votes, that is approved. Any final amendments? Seeing none, approve the motion.
Motion to approve the February 25th, USAC agenda.
Like for the, when ones are resulted in. It's a machine. It doesn't.
Robin motion is for seconds, all in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All again, please raise your hands. And all abstain, please raise your hands. With a 9-0 votes, the agenda is approved. We have minutes from February 18th. Is there any opposition to approving those? Seeing none, we're going to move on to public comments. Just a reminder for everyone that's here for public comments, we have 2 minutes, sorry, we have 30 minutes and 2 minutes to each public commenter to speak once. Some of our public comment guidelines include challenge ideas, not individuals, use gender inclusive respectful language, no dehumanizing language, and freedom of speech does not mean freedom of liability. With that being said, we have this in person and I think for public comments. There you go.
Hey guys, I'm Calgary here at UCLA. Actually just got back from Washington DC a couple hours ago. Where myself and my vice chair Betty went to lobby our representative on open textbooks, the right to repair, e-water, and everything. So thank you so much for listening to my on to our support letter. But yeah, this week, our Hungry Movement campaign is using is doing an education drive for organizations now fire victims and looking forward to next week. We're really excited to go to our Sacramento lobby day. So this is a national lobby day, our statewide one. And we will also have the UCSA there. So looking forward to that. And I'll be out there.
All right.
Before we continue, the people on Zoom are having a hard time hearing. They were texting in the chat.
I think that was
No, no,
oh.
like text message.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, let me try to. Okay, this should work. Go ahead.
Corey, I'm just like an organizer with Hopper here at UCLA, and so one of our professional staff members, that was really last week. But I wanted to share some of our career opportunities for those that are graduating. So you all know and share your networks as well. But I'll tell you a little bit about our national network. So Hopper students, we're part of a national nonprofit called the Student First. And for over 50 years, we've worked on college campuses across the country to make sure that students have training and skills that they need to make a difference. We work to tackle big issues like climate change, justice and democracy, the high cost of college, and so much more. And so we're currently hiring for campus organizers to work on college campuses all across the country to recruit and inspire hundreds of students to take action on these really important issues, train them on strategic campaign work, grassroots organizing, and really win real tangible change, like they like to tell you all about from the local level to the state level to the national level. And so if folks are interested in work like that after they graduate, definitely reach out to myself or Layla about applying for those job positions. It's a really great entry level first job out of college type job as well. Or if there's people in your networks that are interested in work like this in the future, connect with Layla. Thank you.
Well, one of the January Festival managers part of the local extension. And I'm just here today to kind of talk about my confidence in support of Kylan, and hope that I can plan and be very restricted. Kylan is literally the only person that would been back for all 4 years ago, and all this time in UCLA. He's been in the same committee about progress and continue to better since his freshman year. If you guys are aware, so happening this Thursday, headliner, speaking in the and stuff. You guys should know. But he's not only part of progress, he's also an integral part of packing some helping with my group bash and integral part about our planning, about how leadership looks, and just like how awareness goes in general. He supports every facet of that. And I would say that anybody more skilled or anybody more passionate.
Do we have anyone else that's here in person for public comments?
I'm Sky, I have some work today, and I'm also going to on the slot, this is about project training today, I'm just gonna speak in favor of. Focus on to follow up on the minimum wage on basis today, so, I was here, for, USAC meeting last quarter, okay, the initial resolution was calling me, to, the management on minimum wage workers. I mean, I think you all know, like 17, which is what I started to do, not to live in LA, it's not necessarily west, but I'm like a part of the situation, you know, I'm floating in here. So, you know, I don't think you all need to convince me that something is the way is at peace. What's workers and system, but yeah, I will just like to encourage you to pass the resolution. It is a very reasonable and very powerful one to your initial call for dollars. Minimum wage, I think that asking students and as a ways to or directors to, you know, stay with the post. Stay for one on the budget. Be powerful platform those to force students and considers with other like this. I mean, it makes me a nonprofit that it's just my boss doesn't know what's time the phone. But I don't know. So nonetheless, I think formulated by the year. We have to do and you also have to speak at it's still going on this Friday.
Thank you. Yeah, here to give up the comment person. We have anyone with us online, let's here to give up the comments. Seeing none, I close public comment at 7:31 p.m. And we're gonna move on to the rest of the agenda, starting with funding. We have a contingency with funding.
Hi, this week we had a total contingency programming request of $39,100, and we recommend an allocation of $10,110.08 for 0 USAC entities and 33 non-USAC entities. And I'm happy to answer any questions, and it's pasted in the chat.
Please to allocate 10,110.08 to 0 USAC entities and 33 non-USAC.
Having motion for a second, all in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All yes, please raise your hands, and all abstaining, please raise your hands with a 10-0 votes. That is approved. We're gonna move on to SFS allocation to the care.
Hi, this week for SFS, we recommend an allocation of $2,925.71 for 3 non-USAC entities and 1 USAC entity. Let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you. Are there any objections to allocation? Seeing none, we're gonna move on to SWC programming with Fiora.
For the two allocations of like $810, all through non-USAC.
Thank you. Is there any objections to the allocation? The final part of our numbers going in chance. Seeing none, we're gonna move on to do the TGI numbers again.
TGIF recommends an allocation of $22,683.02 to 8 non-USAC entities and 0 USAC.
Thank you. Nico, we begin the moving our dialogue grants allocations.
Hello, everyone. This week, the lottery fund recommends an allocation of $225 to 45 individuals. And then the Brewery Card Fund recommends an allocation of $180 to 21.
Thank you. Is there any opposition to the allocation? Seeing none, we're going to move on to special presentations, starting with the Northwest Liberty Council specification.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I can't start the video though, but if you don't need to see me, I'll just talk.
No, we can give you sharing permission. Or we can just.
Yeah, the video is blocked, but it's okay. I will just talk and then I'll share something I think I can share. So hi, I'm from the North Westwood Neighborhood Council, and I'm here to remind everybody that we are having elections and they're really coming up. Deadline to request a ballot is March 10th, and deadline for the election itself is March 18th. This is a vote by mail election, and it's open to anybody who's involved in any way in North Westwood, which includes UCLA. You do not need to live here. You do need to be either a student or work or be somehow involved in a nonprofit. And you also do not need to be an American citizen to vote in this. I myself am on the council without being an American citizen. I think that most people don't know about this, so I just wanted to say that more specifically. And we're a really, really cool council because we represent UCLA. We have graduate student representatives, we have student representatives, we have faculty representative, me. We have a staff representative, and then we have renter representatives, homeowners, and business owners, and nonprofit organizations. We try to really help the area get more business, get more transportation, to get more lodging, everything we can do. And we meet once a month at once a month on Wednesdays. So yeah, so please help us do our work by voting. And I wanted to share, we set up a little visual to help. So this is these will help you register to vote. I hope, can you guys see it? Register to vote. There's one link for instructions and one link to register to vote. This means you will receive your ballot. It doesn't mean you have voted yet because your normal registration doesn't work. So this is to receive your ballot. You got to ask for it before March 10th, and then you got to send your ballot back. So please, please, please vote. This helps us be legitimate and show that the city that we also have a voice. And yeah, any questions?
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for your attention, guys.
Thank you so much for coming, us up. I look forward to good results. We are now going to move on to our appointments. We have the appointment of the Culture Affairs Commissioner. We have Kyan here with us. Just a reminder for our appointments of how this all works. You have 2 minutes opening statements, followed by a 15-minute question and answer period. After that, we have 2 minutes closing statements. Then we're going to hear our recommendations, have council member deliberations, and then eventually votes. With that being said, go ahead with your opening statement whenever you're ready. Sorry, that's okay. Let's set it to 1 minute. I was picking up with the comment. 1 minute for both opening questions.
Hello, everybody. If you haven't already known me, my name is Kylan. I'm a 4th year African American Studies major here at UCLA. I'm an art individual, but I'm also a very, very involved or member of the Culture Affairs Commission. I have been in Culture Affairs since I was a first year. I was one of the only first years hired within the commission. I was a staff member within the Hip Hop Artist Series for 2 years, and then I became a director my junior year. So the last year, I've been a director. I've been able to collaborate and interact with everybody within CAC on directors, our series, and our directors, the staff members, but also our solo advisors, ACCLA, different people, different organizations. So I feel that I'm the best person to fulfill this position because of my experience and my perspective of knowing the values of CAC, but also knowing how these events and the mission that we have, knowing how they work, one thing about us.
Thank you. We're now going to the 15-minute question and answer period by council members. Do any council members have any questions? Robbie.
Hi, Kyla, good to see you. Obviously you're coming into this year on the later side of things, so what is something that you hope to accomplish within CAC within these short two-ish months we have left? Someone fact check me, but you get the rest of it.
Gotcha. Spring quarter for CAC is so very busy. We have our World Fest, we have HAC's last event, which is our 52nd Fleet, but we also have our Jazz Urban Festival at the end of the year, which is like our culminating event where everybody from people in the Los Angeles community, but also people on campus can come celebrate culture of jazz and reggae, but also this is a very special year at CAC. This is the 60th anniversary of CAC, so we plan on celebrating that and bringing alumni back to campus and getting them involved and having to meet the people that are at CAC right now, and also people on campus that are interested in CAC missions. The biggest thing that I plan to do is just like uphold the values of CAC and keep pushing our mission of education and entertainment and representing different marginalized communities within each campus. CAC is very unique because we serve marginalized communities specifically within our events where we're able to push creative expression, represent different cultures, but also educate people in unique ways from workshops to spoken word panels to concerts to creative activities, things like that. So my biggest aspiration for these next 2 months is making sure that each event, no matter how big the series is, goes according to plan, but also we are able to involve different people on campus that don't have a voice, whether that is the indigenous community, the dominant community, things like people like that are in need of representation and a voice to speak out in a place, in a space, in the platform to talk about what's going on in the world, because that's what CAC is about. It's about representing people that don't get representation on me. Thank you.
Hey, good to see you. Yeah, just like some of the stuff that you learned through case CAC so far, and how you apply it to the role.
I learned what accountability means, but also like the various aspects of accountability, whether that's transparency and communication. To be completely transparent, my first year as a director, I learned so much. I went into the role not understanding a lot of the things that I understand now about like timelines and working with the AGCLA and working with our supervisor, working with the commissioner, working with staff members. So I feel like the biggest thing was I learned to keep my word and be a good representation of the people that I am serving, whether that's the staff members, but also people that come to our events or interact with our what we do on a daily basis. So yeah, I would just say that the biggest thing I learned is how to conduct myself in this space, but also how to be a good leader and empower my staff, and also know where I can fall short, but also realizing that my biggest strength is communicating and empowering people and executing, because I have the most know-how of how to do these events and what that means and understand.
Yes.
On behalf of the Academic Affairs Commission, we're just wondering what you see as the most important challenge facing the cultural recognition and how we plan on addressing that directorship.
That is a really good question. I would say, me personally, just like, because having representation of, because we serve so many like marginalized communities and because we represent different groups on campus that there's a lot of shit going on. Excuse my language. There's a lot of stuff going on within America and also like within the climate of the school. I feel like the biggest thing that like gets in our way is that we're so devoted and passionate about being a platform where underrepresented communities and marginalized communities and communities that are under attack and their civil rights are day by day, the civil rights are being infringed upon and taken away. I feel like the biggest obstacle that we face is just the scrutiny that we get because of the actions that we take. But the biggest thing that everybody has hands on, from the directors to the staff, is that we're devoted to serve these communities and being a voice for these people and using our platform for good, because that's what CAP was created for, and that's why we're here. We're one of the only spaces on campus where we're able to do that.
Thank you. Any more questions? Carol.
Thanks. Sorry, couldn't tell if my hand was up. Hi there. So apologies if that I was a little bit late. Thank you for being here today. I'm Kiara, the Student Wellness Commissioner. I wanted to ask you, could you talk a little bit about what your approach is to the intersection between cultural identity and how this ties into student well-being and tying to, you know, mental health, et cetera? And how do you think that we can better support this for students?
The Global Exhibition is an amazing space where we're able to blend these various intersections between culture and also other things, which include mental health and also like student wellness. I feel like within my experience as a hip hop artist director, the biggest thing I would do and empower ourselves on is our safety, and those people kind of talk about things that are going on in their lives, whether that's through like spoken word workshops or like figure out how we can align cultural identities, mental health, but also like how can we like help people, or not help people, but just like operate and leave our audiences or people that come to our events like with the takeaway, whether that's like they feel like, oh, they're empowered because they're able to express themselves creatively, or we create a space for them to kind of talk about these things that they're not able to talk about in different spaces. One of my favorite events or series within CAC is What I Want to Say, where each week we have a different topic and a different like kind of agenda that can go revolving around spoken word, where students can come and kind of just talk about what's going on. And I myself have been there a couple of times because as a student on campus, I feel like a lot of us don't get voices, and a lot of us are restricted, and a lot of us don't have platforms, and even being able to just talk about what's going on in our lives or what's going on in the culture in front of the audience of 5 or 10 people or even less than that can be fulfilling. And I think that is an integral part of wellness that we as a commission choose to address, which is being able to express yourself, but also being able to like have like a definitive takeaway to do that. And I believe that CAG is the perfect place to do that, and through our series, we've been able to do this in different ways. So that's kind of the answer to the lab out of your question.
Any more questions for the audience? Seeing none, we're going to move it to your 1 minute closing statements. Go ahead and be ready.
That is my life. I've devoted so much time to being a CAG within my 4 years of being a student. I wouldn't be anywhere socially without the friends that I've met within CAG or professionally through the opportunities, the work experiences that I've been able to have CAG. But also CAG has taught me so much about my own cultural identity and ways to express myself. And as a person that is employed as a director to empower other people to express themselves and create events and bring their ideas to life, I feel like I'm the best person to put us in this position just because I have that experience over 4 years, but also I have the experiences of talking to the different people on campus, whether that's outside of work or works within the goal of first mission to kind of bring ideas to life, and also I know the most about what entertainment means through my variety of projects work over as HAC Europe.
Our colleagues are being back for the past 4 years and being a current director of Congress are receiving impressive with extensive knowledge of all the initiatives of the other series and upcoming projects. We have no doubt that Academy will be able to successfully meet the mission for the remainder of the year. Lastly, our colleagues at Academy will be able to uphold CAP's values, including prioritizing education and promoting platforms and marginalized communities. The previous year's zero, our kind recommends time for this support.
Thank you. You're now going to move on to council member deliberations. If any council members have any comments, concerns, send me followed by roll call, like perhaps you.
Just want to say the concept that we actually, I was honored to, Byron, both professionally and personally, we both served as RAs in the hall last year. And to be honest, Byron is one gentle person. He's super sweet, like even beyond like, he as a friend, he has been super nice. Just one thing, he's well intentioned. He has the best intention, and as was said, and as you guys could see, that he's the best person for the job given his experience within CAC. So not only is his heart in the right place, but also he has experience about that. So I would urge everyone to please vote yes. Thank you.
Everyone, I will also be abstaining on this vote because I worked closely with Kylie this summer, to do Bruin Bash, but similar to Team, I can't think of someone else that's more qualified to take on this position. Kylie is an amazing leader, an amazing person, and I can't wait to see what he does within this position.
Yeah, so I'm also going to be staying. So I too was an RA in the whole last year, along with Kyle and Steve. But I think with everything that's been said, Kyle, you do a great job. And I think everyone would be like, so that's it.
Thank you all. Are there any more comments or concerns? All right. Not about it. Thank you. Are there any more comments or concerns about the applicants? Seeing none, we can motion.
Good point, I'll go on the budget of the commissioner.
Second.
Let me motion to my second, so I favor, please raise your hands. There is a chance that the people that are sitting around vote for week 8. 7 or 14, no, 51% of it. Yeah, we know this is yes. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. And all abstaining, please raise your hands.
Oh, I switched my vote to yes.
Okay, I can abstain then.
Okay.
Oh, yes, I don't care.
Yes. With a 8-0, with an 8-0 vote, kind of that you we'll have the official of the hearing again next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for your time. I really look forward to working with you. With that being said, we're going to move on to officer reports. Mine will be creative. Josh.
Okay, so first of all, thank you to everyone who came to the panel event. We had 60 attendees, including for coming as well, and Orlando too. We have lots of administrators come, we have some overviews there, we also had some staff there as well as some members from the public. Also, shout out to one of our city story. We also hosted the Tree Space ceremony last Thursday, concerning to honor groups who helped others in a crisis. I think we also had 60 to 70 attendees there. We had 28 winners. One of them was Kenny. Congratulations. We also won our $25 gift card giveaway at that too. And then other than that, I have a meeting with GSA. GSA staff to discuss materials with the upcoming audit or the past audit with CAC external review as well as with CAD in general. And then Adam, Bobby, and I are meeting with the new ADC and the safety this week.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my officer report will be written for this week.
Oh man.
Hey everyone, my officer report will be written this week as well.
Ramsey.
Yeah, so good read if it's okay. So first is the last critical coalition positions, so we regularly recently Each financial aid student for the national responsibility donate, it's called like on drive, as well as some of the analysis issues. So if and when we are able to set up like a regular time, every 2 weeks, every month, I'll let you guys know what it is, and then hopefully other offices can get that done next. We're also certainly working on free teacher drive, to increase the agency's visibility, at least 500 drive. So that'll be in the end of spring form, and we'll be asking volunteers with the house. For summer school, we're working with UI store facilities, negotiating discounts for facility students, and also working with making informational page accessible on USAC websites. For career sport, we're going to be holding 3 career sport panels during weeks 1, 2, and 3 per quarter. We reach out to 37 clubs for the week 1 panel already. USAC accessibility, we review USAC meeting descriptions, and we already marked areas where we need additional detail and clarity is needed. We're also working to implement a system where applicants can have students who go recruit committees, to go look at work. And we're meeting with UCLA financial aid consultants tomorrow to discuss the accessibility for usage related to that, and we have some ideas in terms of hopefully just making scholarships for accessible students. Everybody's in programming and doing all the events in week 9. And finally, yeah, we're still working on the job event. It's going to be in April, and the LA is also get back, so we're going to be doing that as well. Hey, Steve.
Hi, so most of our reports for the AAC will be written today, but I just wanted to note that we have our engagement goals, so as well as a survey on the transfer orientation experience, like on both on Instagram, and we want more students to fill out. So I would appreciate it if you guys could just share them with us.
I will be written today. Okay.
I just wanted to share a quick exciting update. As of today, Good Clothes, Good People will be staying in SAC, hopefully indefinitely. We were able to collaborate with admin, and they were actually able to support us and help us work through a good collaboration with Scuba. So they'll be staying in their center, and are just working to continue expanding the scope of their work. So it's super exciting. A special thanks to Kiara and Josh for working on this with me throughout this whole year, because it's dragged on, and everyone who's supported. And I also wanted to highlight that there is a basic needs giveaway on at UCLA SCBN, which is our coalition for basic needs. We're giving away an air fryer as well as, I believe, Church's gift card. So please enter. I think you should tag like 3 people on that. And yeah, the rest of mine will be written.
Thank you so much for your turn. Really appreciate it. Joy. I don't think about it.
The mic set isn't working, sorry. No, because it's not picking it up and the microphone isn't, like it's not picking it up on the Zoom. Still. This one's working. Try that one. Top, get this.
By your guidance event is tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. The event is 1 to 2 hours, all councils are welcome to join. And there will be engaging activities and informative presentations for the opportunity for attending to collaborate with each other, support the Carol and those ready for justice and payroll suppliers. Additionally, we completed our relations assessment of the event last week, where we audited 70+ factors across 11 buildings to be which factor was better for festival. Our transportation activity committees also work on the planning for the upcoming election cycle, and they will reach out to your local layer for more support and And then we've been regularly meeting with DSU, other USAC councils, GSA, and CAE to discuss how we can see the accommodation of the external audit and and then for appointments of committees, we're working on staff, the Student Activity Center, Board of Governors and JSC, and we're trying to fill that by early spring.
You go. Hi everyone, me and Mona are moving forward for the next scholarship for next quarter. The unfortunate thing about the financial support commission is we have a tiny budget and we're kind of broke. So if anyone wants to collab, the more the merrier. And we'd be happy to work with you guys on that. But the rest will be great.
As we see.
Hi, so this week we met with the App Center and I'd like to discuss our kind of national test script distribution, and that'll be happening. We also held our community health conference today, so thank you for everyone who stopped by. There's a workshop, panel, and virtual conference. And then upcoming our planning parenthood committee is collaborating with the last year's aid project on merging this. Thanks, Josh, for hosting, for that working night. It's great having everyone. For the sake of winning, so it's gonna be repurposing that as part of her CSR giveaway event, or CSR event. For maybe. But besides that, I like mentioned, for meters on. And everything else you can find on my. Thank you.
I met with the director of the Center Sound TV and the Sound Range for the administration and the funds that we brought to exam students. We also discussed about reinstating USAC which stands for Advisory Council on Immigration Policy. We had a Wi-Fi debrief and Dash's future plan for any crisis. We also had a discussion about free speech and safety of international students during the fest. Another cool event which I attended this weekend was the Saudi Founding Day event, which was hosted by SASA and UCLA, which is the Saudi Arabian Student Association, as well as USC's Saudi Arabian Student Association. And I spoke with the e-board about preserving cultural heritage and tradition. And I was also honored to meet the Saudi ambassador to the US, Dave Bandar, and we basically discussed about the future of Saudi Arabia and preservation of Arab culture on campus. So everything else will be great.
Hello. Yeah. Actually, no, I'm not. Oh, there we go. Hello, everyone. Just my final update on the student region visit next week. It will be next Tuesday. I'm in Javier, just for a USAC meeting with the two region, the region and student region designate. And then the town hall will actually be in this room an hour before the USAC meeting. Thank you to HUCLA for your assistance. Yeah, that is the schedule review. So hopefully he reaches out to you. We have, I think, a 4 to 5 time slot with the two. So if you have any questions, let me know. I should have written down, there was one more update.
Is it about Soed?
What?
Soed?
No.
Is it about
funding? Oh, yes, it is. Thank you. I have been working with the budget review director, and they will be coming out with the sole staff meeting next Wednesday to kind of talk about all the advisors, everyone on the same page. And there are some talks still about hosting a last second funding workshop, as well as maybe create a 5-minute kind of online workshop that we can embed into the UCLA application. That's still in the works, but more to come, hopefully, before the school year is. That's it.
Thank you. Does anyone have just the dates? Join them now. All right.
This is
Oh.
Jen, I don't have any updates. Jessica just has one update, which is that she's still not here. And she's out of town. So if you have anything for her, she does come back tomorrow, but I anticipate it's going to take her some time to catch up. So if you have anything to be dealt with this week particularly, please send them more by way.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, we have women entrepreneurs, USAC Meeting again. I believe we have a rep with us in the Zoom. Hey, can you hear us?
Yep. Hello, hi, I am Siddharth Ramalingam. I'm here as a representative of Bruin Entrepreneurs. Wanted to add more color around the appeal that we shared with Josh. So Bruin Entrepreneurs submitted a funding application for the USA BOD ASUCLA Programming Fund for winter quarter. However, we did not receive an allocation decision. And we, in regards to our sole advisor, there was an issue from their administrative end, and we hence that did not receive funding for that application. So wanted to see if our application could be reconsidered, as Bruin Entrepreneurs as an organization requires a lot of funding for our events, since we offer them free for all undergraduates. So would appreciate if our application could be reconsidered.
Yeah, thank you for coming. I believe Nico has a response to this. So please, Nico.
Hello, for background, I'm the Financial Sports Commissioner and I serve on the USAC/BOD funding committee along with our budget review director. So I kind of have some like information on like the why your application wasn't reviewed by our committee. As for our guidelines, and I also believe as for like SOL's governing documents or their government bylaws, your application has to be reviewed and approved by a SOL advisor before the BOD board is able to look at it. I think you're going to correct me if I'm wrong, so yes. My understanding is correct. So because your application was not reviewed by a SOL advisor, we as a funding board were not like allowed as per our guidelines to look over your application. So during our meeting, your application was immediately put in like well, actually, we need to see your application, to be honest. Like, if you're gonna open it, because we don't have access to it until it's approved by SOL. So because of that, your appeal is actually a problem of SOL, which is my understanding. So there isn't really anything USAC can do since it still isn't approved by SOL. But then also, as in like another reason is your application was for January 28th, I believe, or 26th or something around then. So since the event's already passed, we wouldn't be able to provide funding regardless of the SOL issue, since we're not in February, we're not allowed to fund retroactively.
Got it. Thank you for the clarification.
Yes, and then I do recommend that you like if you are going to apply for the next cycle, you're welcome to reach out to FSC or the budget review director. My email is fsc@usac.ucla.edu. And I'd be happy to like sit down with your student org and kind of help you through the application and make sure it's sent in well ahead of time. So hopefully we don't have the same issue with the SOL. But we do apologize for this. Like I understand this is kind of like a fluffy situation, but unfortunately it's kind of like the bureaucratic process that we have to go through.
We also have something from the this advisor.
Yes, Bruin Entrepreneurs, just want to let you know, based on what I'm hearing, is you should probably connect with your SOL advisor, who is Miranda Redmond. And so are you familiar with who your SOL advisor is?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I was commenting that your SOL advisor is Miranda Redmond. Are you familiar with her and or have you met with her?
Yes, we're familiar with Miranda being our SOL advisor. We've reached out to her multiple times, and yeah, we're familiar with that.
Okay. Her office hours are Wednesday through Friday. If you want to stop by Kirkhoff 105, that's where her office is. I would encourage you to try to reach out to her to find out exactly why she didn't approve your funding proposal.
Got it. Yep.
Sounds good. If it's an action item, we need to move on. We're gonna see that. Yeah, vote. Okay, if someone votes to deny the appeal. Sorry, motion to deny the appeal.
I'll be done. Probably. Do I have to say deny? Like, that's so sad.
You can do it for now.
Is that even better? Motion to deny this funding appeal.
Probably motion to be seconded on favor, please raise your hands.
All of them.
Please show your hands. All against, please raise your hands. And all abstaining, please raise your hands. With a 8-0 votes, that is approved. 0-0. Yeah, Diego has been approved. We are now going to move on to the next calendar. We have Sujana. Sujana, feel free to present the calendar packet and changes talking back to back. And then we can ask questions.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying
Hi. Hi, my bad. But yes, let's get started with the candidate packet if that is the first on the agenda. I can't make my screen like full size for some reason, but hopefully you can see it. Okay, that's perfect. And so this candidate packet looks very similar to the candidate packet presented by Milan last year. Very few changes have been made. You can see here at the top is kind of a table of contents where we have some also important dates highlighted, such as like the filing deadline for the packet, as well as the mandatory candidate orientation. And you can see two important links there. The first being where they request their petition, their initial candidate petition, where they need to collect 50 signatures, as well as then where they submit their candidate packet at the end of the cycle. We reference like bylaws there so they can easily find what rules pertain to them. And we have also like the full codes in a resources section at the end. But as we keep going, we have more like contact resources for myself, and the board as a whole, and then those resources that I mentioned, which are like required by code to be in the packet, and the calendars, like election specific things, then like more student government specific things, and then also like on-campus housing regulations, like organization rules, so that they know for their campaigning where we're getting like our also regulations from. And then all the contacts, and these have been updated for the new Instagram, website, email, and my number. And then here are the forms, which are exactly the same as they were last year. And so knowing that Milan's great and it's all very compliant with what needs to be submitted, but here's where they like provide their administrative information. Here is where we really make sure they understand like the rules and policies that are governing the campaign and their candidacy, and then kind of like more official forms, like more official things to fill out as well. Then the eligibility check, which is really important, which we do like over spring break in between the packet submission and the candidate orientation, and then certifying that they could be candidates for the cycle. So that is the whole packet. Oh, and then we approve them, make sure everything was like received properly. But that is the candidate packet.
Does anyone have any questions? Oh, sorry, it's not changes, right?
No, sorry.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Does anyone have any questions about the changes packet to the calendar? Yes, Diego.
Will election board release like a list of who's running for what position prior to the dropout deadline?
No, it will be after the dropout deadline.
Okay. And then the second question is for the calendar, is the campaigning time like that we're allowed to campaign, is that longer than last year, or did that stay about the same amount, like weeks?
For the leafleting, sorry?
Not for leafleting, but for like when the campaigning starts to when voting is that the same amount of time, or did that time get extended this year?
Yeah, that's the same amount of time, but the campaign leafleting, like flyering hours have been expanded, but the actual length of time, like for online campaigning and just like when campaigning begins, is the same.
Okay, my memory failed me, and I was like, I don't remember it being online, but I guess it was. Okay, thank you. Josh?
It's John, thank you so much for coming. And we could talk a little bit after meeting too about this, but just out of curiosity, what's your plan to get all this out there to the public since it's this week, this tomorrow?
I'm so sorry because I think like it's just me. I can't hear you so super properly, but I think the question was about was it about publicity? About how I will
Wait,
like
can you hear me now?
yes, I can.
Okay, yeah, I'm just curious, like, what's the general goal to get this out like, to the public since it's supposed to be released tomorrow? And we can definitely talk after too.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of like in like alignment with like the release time, like on the calendar, we'll like officially launch that post or like launch the packet with a post on Instagram. But then obviously like working with like USAC and the webmaster to make sure that the official links are up like on the USAC website, and then also hopefully like coordinating with other council members to maybe make a collaboration post or just hopefully get like publicity from you all as well. And I'm actually working like really focusing on allocating the budget now with final allocations. And so I think physical flyers will be really important. That's like something I want to kind of like not necessarily use more, but use a lot this cycle. And so I'm just really leaning on that and like going all in with it. But yeah, it's definitely really important to publicize this. And so I will focus on that in the coming weeks.
Thanks, John. Sorry, you've already touched on this, but are candidates still eligible to receive funding from Elections Board for campaigning?
Yes, there will be like candidate reimbursements as normal, and we are like finalizing that amount now. But that amount, once determined, will be like very clear on the candidate packet, and I'll communicate that to USAC as well.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we get all, we approve it all in one motion.
Could you, someone wishes to approve one of them?
Wait, I feel like you just asked me a question, but I'm like for some reason having a really hard time.
No, I'll ask the other questions.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No.
What do you want to do?
Time in the packets changes.
Did you go, you told me to go at the hack. Oh, I'm so confused. Okay.
Because it wasn't first something that, okay, yeah, I can just vote it with that. Probably.
Motion to approve the 2025-2026 candidate packets for the USAC elections this year. It's best.
Probably most of the second, one of my favorite. These are all against and all abstaining with the intent to do 0 votes that approved, and now we're going to vote the calendar. Yes. She's not saying anything with the other.
Did you just say? I need you to repeat that. I'm so sorry.
Do you want to say anything about the calendar?
Yes, let's go to the calendar. Let's go to the calendar. Okay. So here is the election calendar. It also looks very similar to the calendar that was created by Milan last year. The release date for the candidate packets is tomorrow at 8 a.m. Time is 8 a.m. And then like until the end of this quarter, it's really just about like giving people time to submit the candidate packets, as well as also figure out like slates and ballots, which are really relevant, but maybe spoken about less. But they have that Friday of week 10 deadline. And then we spend finals week and spring break verifying the candidate eligibility. And then Wednesday of week 1 is the candidate orientation at 7 p.m. That's about the same, as well as the deadline to withdraw being like midnight of Friday of the week that orientation happens. And so like kind of as was asked, it's after that deadline on like Monday, week 2, that the official candidate list will be posted, as well as the deadlines for like candidate statements and ballot language. On Wednesday, week 2 is when online campaigning begins. And so there is an important distinction between online campaigning and in-person flyering. So you can see below, in-person flyering will begin like about a week and a half later, Monday of week 4. And it's not there because it's not there for some reason. So there we go. Oh no, it's actually right at the bottom. So on that Monday, week 4 is also like the first finance deadline. And so something important that was changed here is that the two separate deadlines for expense accounts and then signed expense forms have been combined. Sol and SJ said that that would be possible, and I think that would be ideal to just give candidates like less deadlines to think about, especially because we are so strict on deadlines like eBoard. And then week 5 Wednesday is when we have candidate debates. It will be in 2 rounds again, as it like kind of typically is. Candidate orientation will be in person. I think I may not have mentioned that. But then the second finance deadline is Tuesday of week 6, and then voting opens that Friday. And we are doing something which I'm not actually sure if has been done in the past, but maybe it has, which is that it probably has actually, because it was Sol's suggestion, but that the ballot will become available for preview online Wednesday, so 2 days in advance of the actual voting opening. And then voting will be open for a week on the 16th, May 16th, Friday, week 7, results will be announced. And then week 9 are some important dates for just the candidates to have in mind to, know like if I'm a candidate, I'll be responsible for attending these things. And so that's the Leadership Academy and the first USAC meeting. That is the calendar.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Dorian.
Yes.
Okay, just want to check. Could you possibly add the first week of June and add that Sunday shipping happening? I know it's written everywhere. But,
Yes, I definitely can.
Thank you.
Any other questions? You go. Well, is there a deadline for endorsements from student boards?
Oh yeah, there definitely is. And I'm not sure why I don't have it here, but it has in the past been like the day that voting opens. And so it's like for some reason the time has been after voting opens, like the deadline to submit candidate endorsements. And so I'm just changing it to be at 11:59, like the Thursday before voting opens, so that I just think it makes sense to have like all endorsements in before voting opens. But yes, that's
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Seeing none, could we please get our
Motion to approve the 2025 and 2026 elections calendar.
Let's let them. Second motion, equal seconds, all in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hand. Abstaining, please raise your hands. That's 0-0, move that approved. And last but not least, the eco changes to Java. They're pretty short, and we're going to talk about them. So give you some school credit.
Yeah, definitely. So there are 2 election code edits that I'm presenting now. The first is that just like in kind of like one provision, the old USAC election board email is used. So I just wanted to change it to the current email so that that information will be consistent everywhere. And then the second change is a more significant change. And it was one that actually Adam proposed, and that I agree is very smart and definitely an equitable change. And so the candidate spending limit has been changed from like a same $450 every year to being the same amount as the reimbursement limit. So students will be able to spend as much as they can, the maximum amount that they can be reimbursed for. And this is just a change that we think will be like as equitable as possible, ensuring that all candidates get like a fair amount of publicity and representation. And we in kind of consistency with like other provisions of the code have decided that it, states here that the limit does have to be, determined, clearly communicated to candidates. And so, for me, that means like it'll be on the election packet, it'll be very clearly communicated at orientation. And this has to be established by the end of orientation, because in other places in the code, it's stated that like candidates and slates have to agree, sign binding campaign spending contracts by the end of orientation. So just keeping that deadline for us. But those are the two proposed changes.
Yeah, just to clarify, it means that everyone will only be able to spend money, and all the money they spend will be fully reimbursed, just to make sure everyone's on a level playing field in terms of money. And that's probably gonna come out of surplus or whatever I'm calling that. Carry over. Does anyone have any questions, concerns? Seeing none, can we get approval of the changes, please?
To higher election code inclusive of the changes presented to you. That'll be.
I didn't want to do this one.
Okay, you are as it is, I need to.
Oh my God, okay. Oh, I'm not, okay. Motion to approve the entire election code, including these changes that Sujata just presented to us.
I second.
Yes. Please raise your hands. Lower your hands. On against, please raise your hands. With a 9-0 votes. All, sorry, the changes and the vote. Thank you so much, Sujata. We really appreciate your work. We look forward to the next.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for listening to me, repeating everything for me, and just, yeah, looking forward to working together. Thank you.
We are going to move on to the books for fluids, application and guidelines. I'm also interested in these because there are two different things, but.
Sure. Guideline includes just what the experience does, as well as who's eligible and what you want, as well as.
That's good. Questions? Team, I'm gonna get a motion on both. Do you have the guidelines? Okay, can we put the application and guidelines? Robbie.
This is crazy, y'all. Motion to approve the Books for Bruins application and funding guidelines.
Subject. Robbie motions, Grant seconds, all in favor, please raise your hands. Each over your hands, all against, please raise your hands, and all abstaining, please raise your hands. With a 10-0 vote, that is approved. We have our resolution, with talking about a resolution on calls for $20 minimum wage for SGCA. Feel free to read through it or summarize at your discretion.
Wait, sorry, it's my turn, correct?
It is.
Okay, perfect. All right, so it's a really short resolution, so I'll just opt to read it. All right. So whereas the Associated Students UCLA is a 501c3 nonprofit organization representing the student body, funded by students and run by a student majority board of directors, whereas USAC, as a part of ASUCLA, represents the student population on campus and student workers are essential to the operations of ASUCLA. Whereas ASUCLA's budget assumptions for the 2025-2026 fiscal year will likely be discussed and voted on during the February 28th, 2025 ASUCLA Board of Directors meeting, given their recent discussion at the Board of Directors Finance Committee meeting on February 22nd, 2025. Whereas ASUCLA's budget assumptions for the 2025-2026 fiscal year represent the financial and organizational priorities of ASUCLA and a student-run enterprise. Whereas despite the passage of a previous resolution calling for a $20 per hour ASUCLA minimum wage, ASUCLA has not engaged with this demand in good faith, and there has been no indication of an independent student wage increase beyond the legally required adjustments with changes to Los Angeles minimum wage. Whereas approving budget assumptions without a clear pathway to a student wage increase further entrenches financial instability for students who depend on ASUCLA employment. Let it be resolved that should ASUCLA Board of Directors vote on the 2025-2026 budget assumptions at the 2/28/25 BOD meeting, the Undergraduate Students Association Council formally calls on student representatives on the ASUCLA Board of Directors to vote no or abstain from voting on the approval of the 2025-2026 budget assumptions at the February 28, 2025 meeting if a commitment to raising student wages independent of the Los Angeles minimum wage is not explicitly included. Let it be further resolved that USAC will not engage in discussions or support any ASUCLA administrative initiatives to increase funding for ASUCLA facilities that require student support until ASUCLA bargains in good faith regarding student wage increases. Let it finally be resolved that USAC asserts that the success of any ASUCLA administrative initiatives requiring student support are built on trust, and ASUCLA's failure to represent student needs undermines that trust. Until ASUCLA demonstrates a commitment to prioritizing student workers and aligning its financial decisions with student interests, USAC refuses to engage in discussions regarding such initiatives.
Thank you, Tommy. I have one request either from you or from Josh. Could you follow up with our BOD reps and let them know of the at least that be resolved clause that directly doesn't target, sorry, matches them.
Wait, can you repeat that? It's like hard to hear on Zoom.
Yeah, I was just asking if either you or Josh could follow up with our BOD reps to let them know this resolution and specifically the clause that talks about that voting.
Yes, 100%. We will follow up after.
Sounds great. Any other questions or concerns? Hamida.
Tommy and co-authors, hi everyone. I have one question. Did you all meet with the BOD members before you wrote this resolution to truly understand what the budget assumptions are?
No, we did not. This is all under the assumption that the budget assumptions will be presented as on the ASUCLA website. The agenda is not yet published, only had access to like the past agendas from committee meetings, but this coming agenda is not published yet publicly.
Correct. So at the finance committee, which everybody is invited to come, you just let your student representative aware. But budget assumptions for USAC is the first step in the budget preparation process for their overall budget, which goes from pretty much January to April. The assumptions are just the foundation of what's going to impact the budget from a very global perspective. So it can be the financial outlook, it can be wages increases. It is all assumptions in regards to that. So every division director comes with their assumptions, and that is what is being shared to the board that they're going to vote on. It is not an actual dollar figure across the board, it's assumptions. So I would have preferred if you all had at least reached out to me, but at least your representatives to understand what is being presented so you're aware of what's included in that document.
Yeah, so this resolution was written today, and I did email you prior to meeting regarding it just to keep that transparency as soon as I had it written. Also, I am aware that they are just assumptions. However, we firmly believe that those assumptions should hopefully be starting the process of the actual budget allocations with the assumption that there should be a student wage increase. So like we said, we're just hoping to start on the right foot regarding these negotiations and setting of the budget for next year. We believe that a student wage increase should be already present at the conversation of budget at the beginning. So that is why we are passing this resolution today.
Actually, yeah, I just want to take a moment and talk about the pragmatic impacts of the resolution. I definitely agree with $20 minimum wage. I just want to just make sure that there's, nothing that might essentially like, get in a relationship with people who work directors that might make it less likely. But it doesn't seem legitimate like that. Right. Sorry. Well, I just wanted to, just talk about like impacts of the resolution. Because I don't think that after the last resolution, I don't think the UCLA, increase the minimum wage or getting finished that. I mean, is there anything in the resolution that could potentially make it less likely to have a minimum wage be increased? If it makes sense.
Sorry, Tommy, I think I'll take this one. I think that the idea is off that the board or board of director reps should vote a certain way. Tommy, was that previously the past resolution?
Wait, so the part about board of directors voting a certain way, can you repeat your question?
Was that a previous resolution or is that something new?
Voting on the budget assumptions?
Yeah.
So this is something new. The last resolution did not talk about budget assumptions in any capacity because they weren't like brought up in the ASUCLA process yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. I don't see any reason to do that. So that's really good.
Unless there's any other comments or concerns.
We have a comment.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm on my phone, everyone. My apologies. One other question, Tommy, in regards to the resolution, as regard to where you're saying further administrative initiatives is those, when you all vote, are you stating that you are not entertaining a conversation with BOD as a peer student-run enterprise for any student initiative? Were you all supporting all undergraduate students at UCLA? For the better good? Is that what it's saying at the end?
So what it's saying at the end is referencing the further clause, and it says ASUCLA administrative initiatives to increase funding for ASUCLA facilities specifically, not all initiatives generally.
Any other questions or concerns? Rob, you volunteered.
It's your moment.
You were gonna raise your hand.
Motion to approve the resolution following on calls for a $20 minimum wage for ASUCLA student workers.
Rob, motion, let's get all in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. They tend to your vote. That is approved. I motion for us to move into executive session.
I don't do seconds.
Any motion surrounding seconds, all in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. And all abstaining, please raise your hands. We unfortunately have to take all non-council members